UFC Rio Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. I'm here to provide you my full card picks and predictions on the entire fight slate. Obviously, before we get started, we'll quickly recap how we did UFC 320, which was last week. And also, please, like I said before, subscribe to the channel. We're at about 700 something right now. Once we reach 1,000, I will be doing another giveaway the same way I did with 5,000 subs. And also, please join the Discord. It is $14.99 a month, and I'm running a promo where you get a free week. That is where I drop all of my plays, not just for the UFC, the NFL, where we're up 10 units so far in the season, as well as every other sport. Like NBA is coming back, but like I said, usually UFC and football are my 1-2 punch. And before the UFC 320, we were profitable for 2 straight months worth of cards. Was not profitable UFC 320, which is a bit shocking because we went 9-5 on the predictions. We dropped a few in the early prelims, went 3-1 in the prelims, and then 3-2 in the main card. I mean, we had some pretty big wins as well, which is really annoying. Also, that patchy mix loss was a little shaky, as we all know, but it is what it is. 9-5 in the predictions, not too bad, but still like to have that double-digit number. There are 13 fights on the slate. Hopefully, we can get that double-digit number, go 10-3 or better, because there are some fun fights. There are a few fights early that I'm going to just brush by because, they're not as important, I should say, honestly. But regardless, 13 fights. Let's get started. First fight of the night, Luan Lacerda versus Saimon Oliveira. Lacerda is 3 inches taller and has the half-inch leg reach advantage, but Oliveira does have the half-inch arm reach advantage. Now, Lacerda has not fought in since 2023. He is 0-2. Not bad losses, Cody Stamann and Damon Blackshear. And Saimon Oliveira is on a 3-fight losing streak. He's 0-3 so far in the UFC, obviously not including Contender Series. Recently got nuked by David Martinez, Daniel Marcos, and Tony Gravely. I mean, listen, also not bad losses, you can say, but that last one was 2025, of March of 2025, not that long ago. I think the time off is going to do Lacerda right, to be honest. I think he'll kind of be able to win wherever he wants. I don't think Saimon Oliveira really is a UFC caliber fighter. He kind of, did what he had to do. Won by split decision on Contender Series a few years ago. And I think regardless of this outcome, he's going to probably get cut. I think Lacerda wins and keeps his job here. Now, the odds right now for Lacerda are minus 265. Not a beautiful price, to be honest. I'd stay away from this fight, but I still do think he wins. So give me Luan Lacerda to win by decision. Next fight, Julia Polastri versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Now, Karolina is going to be an inch taller, have the half-inch reach advantage, and the 3-inch leg reach advantage. I think the leg reach advantage could serve her some wonders, to be honest. She's going to be looking to kick Polastri in those calves early. Now, if she kind of overextends those kicks, Polastri could catch one, take her down, and dominate her there. Obviously, we know Kowalkiewicz is 9-9 so far in the UFC. She's had mixed results, lost her last 2 by decision, Denise Gomes and Yasmin Lucindo. Before that was on a 4-fight win streak, so she's very streaky, but she doesn't really present too much damage anywhere. She kind of likes to keep it on the feet, just a lot of output, but she gets hit a lot as well. Now, Polastri lost her last one to Lupi, but started to look better as the fight went on. 2-2 in the UFC. She had lost to Jazz Devicious in her Contender Series fight, but 2-2 losses to Knudsen and Lupi. Not terrible. This is kind of a step down from Lupi, though. I think this is a step down. I think that Polastri is going to be able to take her down and beat her up there. Even on the feet, I think she's the better fighter. I think that she'll be able to implement her game plan very well also. And I think at worst, she wins 2 rounds, 2-1. Now, Polastri right now is a minus 520. That is disgusting, I'm not going to lie. The line keeps dropping because people are favoring her. And I think she wins. So give me Julia Polastri to win by decision. Next fight, Valter Walker versus Mohammed Usman. Walker is going to have the 4-inch height advantage, but Usman has the half-inch reach advantage, and Walker has the 1-inch leg reach advantage. This is going to be interesting because Valter Walker has been talking about, don't take me by sub, I'm going to knock him out. As we all know, I mean, he's the GOAT of heel hooks at this point, to be honest. But Mohammed Usman is kind of hard to get taken down, to be honest. He tries his best way possible not to get taken down and stay on his back, but he doesn't have the best chin. He just has power. He's not that skilled, to be honest. I mean, he's just not that good. And I think Valter Walker can make a run in heavyweight, to be honest. He has one loss so far in the UFC and in his career. But aside from that, he's been looking really good. And if his hands are the way he says that they are, he could pick up a TKO win here, to be honest. Walter Walker right now is minus 340. Line keeps dropping because people are favoring him as well. And I think it's the rightful side, to be honest. I think he's the better fighter. I think he can make a run at heavyweight. And just like someone else we'll talk about shortly as well at heavyweight. But give me Walter Walker to win this one by TKO or decision. Next up, Lucas Rocha versus Stewart Nicoll. Now, Stewart Nicoll is going to have the 2-inch height advantage, 1.5-inch reach advantage, and the 2-inch leg reach advantage. Now, Nicoll, before his last fight, was 8-0, highly touted prospect. Looked really good, and then just got smoked by Jesus Aguilar in the most Jesus Aguilar fashion possible, and just got caught and smoked. Now, Rocha, I think, in my honest opinion, is not that good, to be honest. He lost to Clayton Carpenter, which we'll talk about shortly. Got taken down and got choked out. Before that, he did win his Contender Series fight, but he's just kind of a short, stocky dude. And then we have Nicoll, like I said, lost his Contender Series fight, or his debut in just over 2.5 minutes. This is a step down. I think Rocha is not that good. I think Stewart Nicoll is going to finally show what people have been seeing in him for quite some time already. I think that he smokes him absolutely anywhere. And if it wasn't for that loss, he would be the favorite. But because he lost the way he did, he's minus 102. He is the dog here. Give me Stewart Nicoll to win by TKO or submission. Next fight, Bia Mesquita versus Irina Alekseeva. Now, Irina is going to be 2 inches taller, and it's Mesquita's debut, so there's no other stats on her on UFC.com. But I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Mesquita is 5-0, obviously, but she's beaten a lot of UFC fighters in grappling, including Miesha Tate as well. She's very good. She's very good on the ground. Alekseeva is mid-sauce. She's lost her last two, both by decision. Just doesn't look that good. I think she doesn't present too much on the feet. I think it could be scary because this is Mesquita's debut, so you don't know how she's going to look after that first round. She can kind of dominate and then slow down if she uses all of her entire gas tank. But I still think she wins. The odds are so disgusting, though. I would not touch this fight, to be honest. Minus 530 is absolutely disgusting. The line keeps, she was 670, now 530 because it's, you never know. It's WMMA and it's her debut. You don't know how she's going to react to that after that first round. They could be an adrenaline dump. I don't really want to deal with that. But I think she is able to find that neck and she chokes her out. So give me Beatriz Mesquita to win by submission. Next fight, Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Petersen. Vitor Petrino is going to be an inch taller, 3.5-inch reach advantage, 2.5-inch leg reach advantage. All things that matter here because I think he wins this fight 100%. I think Thomas Petersen isn't that good. I think he's taken advantage of the fact that the heavyweight division isn't that good, and he won't win this fight. Now, Petrino is now doing the same thing. Got nuked at light heavyweight a few times. His physique looked great, but he was just cutting way too much, clearly. Now he's a lot more filled out. I think that he is perfect for the heavyweight division. I think he can make a run at the top 10. I think that his power translates. I think that his jiu-jitsu is far better than almost everyone in this division, 95% of this division, and it's shown already. I think that he might be one of the lighter heavyweights, but he still can pack a punch and hang with the best here. Right now, Vitor Petrino, I can't believe I'm talking about Vitor Petrino here, to be honest, but minus 320, rightful side. Could be a little scary, but that's the rightful side. I think he smokes him early, and even if he doesn't, he can put on a masterclass of 3 rounds against someone like Thomas Petersen. So give me Vitor Petrino to win by TKO or decision. Next fight, Jafel Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. Now, Filho is an inch taller, 2.5-inch reach advantage, and they have the same leg reach. Now, Jafel Filho, I think, at this point in his career, is kind of taking a downward spiral. He is 32 currently, but he looks 50. He lost his last fight to Nascimento. Before that, did beat Ode Osborne and Daniel Barras. Not bad wins, to be honest. Clayton Carpenter did win his debut. Every time I press Clayton Carpenter's name, my computer lags. He's 2-0 in his, or he was 2-0, and then he lost to Tagir in his last fight, where Tagir did take him down 3 times, where Clayton took him down once as well. But this kind of feels like a step down in competition as well. I mean, Tagir took him down and controlled him for 7 minutes. Filho's not going to do that. Filho is not going to do that. 42% takedown accuracy. He's not going to be able to do that. I think that if this stays on the feet, this is Clayton Carpenter's fight. He'll be able to implement that game plan standing, and I think he can nuke him low-key. I think he can nuke Filho. Does that happen? I'm not sure. This is a red flag fight for me. I don't trust either two of these dudes, to be honest. But Clayton Carpenter being a minus 128, I think is the rightful way to go. It was a pick'em before. October 2nd, just a week ago, it was a pick'em. Less than a week ago. And now he is minus 128. Money's coming in on him, rightfully so. I think he wins. And even if he doesn't nuke him early, I think he can win at least 2 rounds to 1. So give me Clayton Carpenter to win by decision. Next fight. Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell Jr. Now Almeida is going to be 3 inches taller, have the 2-inch reach advantage, and the 3-inch leg reach advantage. Now, Almeida has all those advantages, and it sounds so great, but it's Lucas Almeida, who lost his last fight to Danny Silva by split decision, and he's dropped 3 of his last 4 fights. Not pretty. He's lost to Filho, Pat Sabatini. Not bad losses, but he's been finished in both those fights. Did beat Timmy Kwamba, where Kwamba's not even that good. Now, Michael Aswell is 0-2 so far. 0-1 technically in the UFC. But listen, very close fight against Bogdan Grad, Contender Series, where that fight could have gone to him. And then he loses to Oki. He lands 118 significant strikes still against Oki, where he came in on short notice, up a weight class. He came in fat and unhealthy and put on a fight still against Oki, where he kind of low-key won that first round. It was kind of shaky, I'm not going to lie. He came in off the couch and put up a fight against this strong-ass Oki. Oki's not that good, but he still put up a fight. And now he's getting his finally a chance with a proper training camp and everything to prove that he's worth being in the UFC. And this is a perfect matchup because Almeida's not that good. Aswell has the boxing to beat the shit out of him on the feet, and I think he'll be able to do that. I don't think Almeida's that athletic. I think he doesn't move his head off that center line at all. He gets nuked here. Now, one more point to put out there, though, is that sometimes we as UFC fans and people like me who watch this and do this for a living, we tend to sometimes view these losses as wins, and we can't do that because he lost 2 close fights, and we almost put more into that rather than viewing those as losses, which is a problem sometimes. So you have to really dig deep and see if they're the rightful side to go despite those losses. And I think this is one of those spots. Now, Michael Aswell right now is minus 150. I think that is a decent spot to take Michael Aswell, to be honest. I think he wins this fight, and I think there's a chance he finishes him. So give me Michael Aswell to win by TKO or decision. Next fight, Ricardo Ramos versus Kaan Ofli. Now, Ricardo Ramos is 2 inches taller, going to have the 6-inch reach advantage and the 3-inch leg reach advantage here. Ricardo Ramos is kind of a can, I'm not going to lie, but he, honestly, despite him dropping 3 of his last 4 fights, hasn't looked terrible. I mean, he lost to Chepe. Chepe always has perfect game plans, to be honest. Beats Josh Kulabau, loses to Rosa and Charles Jourdain. Now, Ofli is 0-1 in his UFC career so far, and honestly, just hasn't looked that good. He got nuked by Myron Santos for Contender Series, and then loses to Naimov. Now, wasn't the worst fight, but I think Naimov isn't that good, so it kind of pushes me more away from Ofli. I don't really think Ofli is a UFC caliber fighter, to be honest. Now, Ricardo Ramos right now is minus 194. That is kind of disgusting. I'm not going to lie to you. That is kind of disgusting, but I think he's the rightful side. I think Ofli, despite him probably having more power, just skill for skill isn't the best here. I think Ramos can kind of do whatever he wants here. I think if he catches a neck, he can probably choke him out. So give me Ricardo Ramos to win by submission or decision. Another red flag fight, though. Next fight, Jonathan Diniz versus Mario Pinto. Now, Pinto is going to be 2 inches taller and have the 3-inch leg reach advantage, but Diniz does have that half-inch reach advantage. Now, Denise right now is very shaky. He just won against Alvin Hines, and he's 3-1 in the UFC. Beats Austin Lane, probably not in the UFC anymore. Beats Carl Williams, not in the UFC anymore. Loses to Marcin Tybura. You know, he got absolutely smoked, taken down and smoked. Alvin Hines beats Alvin Hines by decision. Pinto is also 1-0 in the UFC. He beat Austin Lane by TKO, won his Contender Series fight earlier last year. I say earlier last year, a year ago at this point, which is kind of crazy. Also by TKO. Now, Pinto, I think, is all power. I think Denise is overall the better fighter. It could be a bit scary, to be honest, but I think that Denise has the power to stand with him, and he'll be able to clinch him up if Pinto expends too much energy early trying to knock out Denise, because I think Pinto isn't that good, and I think Denise, if he is able to take that punch early, can win this fight. And I think he's proven to show that he has a big block head, and it's not like he's going to get knocked out by just anything. Jonathan Denise is minus 125. He was, when I was watching film and everything, he was plus 100. October 6th, he's plus 100. So to me, he's still a dog, but the money's coming in on him now, and I think that's the rightful way to go, the rightful side. So give me Jonathan Denise, the dog, to win by knockout or TKO. Next fight, Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Alvarez is 3 inches taller, 1.5 inch reach advantage, 4 inch leg reach advantage. Now, this is scary and sad because Vicente Luque at this point, we don't really know what he is. Since that brain bleed and him taking time off, he's 2-2. He lost his last fight, but he's 2-2. He's happy to be back out there. He's still winning some fights. Joel Alvarez is kind of a dog. His only loss since his debut is Arman Tsarukyan, where he gave Arman kind of problems early. And that's another thing. We always go, he gave him problems early, but he still lost the fight. He lost by finish in that fight. But regardless, he looks really good. And if Vicente Luque was in his prime, this would be one of the fight of the year. It would be a main event, a fight night main event, and it would be probably fight of the year. But at this point, despite him only being a year older, being on the Luque side here is very scary. Joel Alvarez does look like an absolute monster, and I would not want to fight Joel Alvarez. I'll tell you that right now. The odds are very wide, though. Joel Alvarez is minus 560. That is not pretty, but I think he could finish him. Unfortunately, I think he does finish him. I think that he will be able to land a head kick, and it'll be lights out, unfortunately. Give me Joel Alvarez to win by knockout or TKO. Next fight, co-main event. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. Now, Montel Jackson is going to be 5 inches taller, 7.5 inch reach advantage, 3 inch leg reach advantage. Now, Montel Jackson is an absolute animal, okay? He's only lost 2 fights, and his only 2 losses, one was his debut against Ricky Simón, when Ricky Simón was hot, and he lost to Brett Johns in 2020. He's on a 6-fight win streak with some big wins, and he is the strongest hitter in 135. I guarantee, I'm not even playing with you. He's the hardest hitter at 135 right now. This fucker is scary. Figgy's knee exploded in May. That's 5 months ago. But he's 3-2 in the division, which is very impressive. He started on a 3-fight win streak. Beats Rob Font, beats Cody Garbrandt, beats Cheeto. He's the first man to ever knock Cheeto down. Gets fucked up by Peter Gunn. Knee explodes against Sandman, but he was going to probably lose that fight regardless. I know a lot of people are going to go, this is the side, Figgy's the side, because this is like the vet that's still good. He still got it. Montel Jackson is unproven, this and that. Montel Jackson has a 7.5 inch reach advantage here. You don't think he's going to use that shit? Montel Jackson is 5 inches taller. What is Figgy going to do here? Might I add, Figgy's knee exploded 5 months ago. When basketball players' knees explode, they take a whole year off. Does Figgy need some money? He must need some money because there's no reason to take this fight aside from the fact that it's probably 2 blocks away from your crib. Montel Jackson right now is minus 330. I get it. It's disgusting. I get it. It's not pretty. But Montel Jackson will win this fight. He will win this fight. I think Montel Jackson is an absolute lock here. Figgy's knee legit exploded 5 months ago. Is he going to try to grapple Montel Jackson? Is his knee going to hold up? trying to shoot a double? I don't fucking think so. I think Montel Jackson nukes him. But even if he doesn't, he plays it safe at some point. He can still win rounds here. He's the younger fighter. He's so good. He's the most underrated fighter at 135. Give me Montel Jackson to win by decision. And main event, we have Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot, where we found out, and they also found out about this fight 2 weeks ago. They're both 5'10". Charles has the 3.5-inch reach advantage, 2-inch leg reach advantage. Now, really quick to point out, if this fight happened before Charles got nuked 3 months ago, Charles would be a minus 300 favorite, and I would still pick Charles to win that fight at 300 because he would rightfully so be minus 300 because he would beat the shit out of Gamrot probably. But I hate the fact that people are not trying to point out the fact that he got nuked 3 months ago. It takes a lot of time to recover from getting nuked, okay? I was going to make a really dark joke there, but I don't want to get canceled, so I will not. But it takes a longer than 3 months to get nuked, to recover from a nuke job. June 28th, July, August, September. 3 fucking months since he got slept. I know Gamrot isn't the hardest hitter, but you don't need to be the hardest hitter at this point to knock down Charles Oliveira. People are saying he's going to shoot, obviously, and Charles is going to try to catch a ghillie. He's going to land it, and it's going to be game over. Do you know how hard it is to actually land a guillotine in any form of MMA or grappling? It is one of the hardest submissions to actually land. Against someone like Gamrot, who literally can shake you off, who understands that he's not going to try to grapple you in those type of positions early. He's going to wait till you're a little sweatier so he can get off of those. He's not going to shoot for a takedown first round. That'd be stupid if they're both dry. That'd be stupid as hell. Gamrot has amazing top control. We saw Ludovic Klein, same thing. He put on a vet performance. Charles Oliveira is not going to be looking for ghillies either at some point. He's going to invite him down. He's going to try to land something, try to get that arm next to Gamrot's neck, try to land a triangle or something in that sense, maybe. But Gamrot has great top control also, and he has great ground and pound. He knows the opportunity this is to win this fight. But despite all of that, Charles Oliveira at home, after being nuked by everyone who's gotten nuked by Topuria, has won their next fight, even though that shit doesn't matter. But, you know, there's something in Charles right now that he knows he needs this win, because if not, where do you go from here? Skill for skill, he's still the better fighter, obviously the better grappler, not the better wrestler, obviously, but he's the harder hitter. He's more precise. That none of that has changed. Is it scary to back Charles Oliveira in a 5-rounder? Absolutely. Especially because Gamrot is made for 5 rounds. He'll take you down and control you. But Charles could still get that back somehow. Gamrot's super tough. He might scramble, try to reverse as well. It's very tough. It's tough to say. But Charles right now is an underdog, minus 111. Gamrot is minus 115. I have to go with my dog here. Give me Charles Oliveira to win by submission or decision, but it's a very scary fight. And that wraps up UFC Rio, Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. Let me know how you guys feel about this shorter version of these videos. Obviously, this is a shorter version than the usual 45 to 50 minute video. This might be a little around 25, maybe a little under. So let me know how you guys feel about that. Really still try to give you as much information and detail as possible. Obviously, I put in hours and hours and hours of fight time and write-ups and all of that for this every single week. And that's just this sport, and I do that for plenty of other sports as well, which is why I say the best way to support me obviously is to subscribe here and also to join the Discord. The link is in the channel bio. I'm running a promo where you get a free week with that monthly sub, and it's already $14.99 a month, which is a fraction of everyone else's cost for multiple sports, for something that I pour everything into, obviously, and that I've been working on for years at this point. So I appreciate you all. I hope you guys all have a wonderful, safe, blessed rest of your week. Hopefully I made you guys a little smarter, and hopefully we can cash together. But as always, I appreciate you all. Like I said, I love you all. Let's keep cashing.